Every single human being in the world has experienced pain, sadness, or struggle at some point in their life. It could be losing a favorite toy, failing at something important, or feeling lonely. But have you ever stopped to wonder why we suffer? Is suffering just something bad that happens to us? Or does it have a deeper meaning? Can we learn from it? Should we try to escape it, or should we embrace it? Today, we're going to explore two very different ways of thinking about suffering. One idea tells us that suffering makes us stronger, like a storm that helps a tree grow taller. The other idea tells us that suffering is caused by our own desires, and that we can escape it if we change the way we think and live. These ideas come from two great thinkers, one who lived more than 100 years ago and one who lived more than 2,000 years ago. Let's start with the first thinker. Imagine a man who believed that struggle and pain were not bad things, but actually good for us. He believed that without difficulty, we would never grow. Just like a butterfly needs to struggle to come out of its cocoon, humans need challenges to become stronger. This man's name was Friedrich Nietzsche. He lived in the 19th century in Germany, and he spent his life asking deep questions about human nature. Nietzsche looked at history and noticed that the greatest people, those who created amazing art, discovered new things, or changed the world, did not live easy lives. They faced hardship, pain, and suffering, but instead of running away from it, they used it to push themselves forward. He once wrote, "Think about a big, strong tree. Can it grow tall without ever facing strong winds or storms? No, because storms force the tree to grow stronger roots." In the same way, he believed that humans need to face suffering to become stronger. But how do we do that? Nietzsche had a powerful idea called love of fate. He believed that instead of wishing things were different, we should love everything that happens to us, good or bad. He wrote, "Do not just accept what happens, but love it." This means that if something painful happens, we should not just survive it, but use it to become wiser and stronger. Now let's explore the second idea, one that looks at suffering in a completely different way. Imagine a man who lived long ago, over 2,500 years ago. He was born as a prince in a wealthy family, but he left his palace because he wanted to understand why people suffer. He saw that everyone, rich or poor, faces sadness, sickness, aging, and death. He spent many years searching for answers, and one day, after deep thinking and meditation, he discovered something important. This man became known as the Buddha, which means the awakened one. His teachings formed the basis of what we call Buddhism. The Buddha said that suffering is a part of life, but he also discovered something even more important. Suffering has a cause, and if we remove the cause, we can remove suffering. He explained this in what he called the Four Noble Truths. First, the Buddha realized a deep truth. Life is full of suffering. No matter who you are, pain, sadness, and struggles are part of existence. Even the happiest moments don't last forever. People change, things break, and time moves forward, whether we want it to or not. This suffering is not a mistake or a rare event, it is a fundamental part of life. Second, he discovered the cause of suffering, our endless desires and attachments. We always want more happiness, more love, more success. We wish things would stay the same, but they don't. We try to hold on tightly to people, experiences, and emotions, but everything is always changing. This constant wanting, this deep attachment, is what creates suffering. Third, the Buddha taught that suffering can end. If suffering is caused by attachment, then letting go is the key to freedom. Imagine holding a burning coal in your hand. It hurts because you won't release it. The moment you let go, the pain stops. In the same way, when we stop clinging to things, when we accept life as it is, we free ourselves from suffering. Finally, the fourth truth gives us a way to achieve this freedom, the Noble Eightfold Path. The Buddha didn't just tell us to stop suffering, he gave us a clear path to follow. This path teaches us how to live wisely, kindly, and calmly. It's not about avoiding life, but about seeing it clearly and making choices that bring true peace. The Buddha compared life to holding a hot coal in our hand. If we hold on too tightly, we get burned. But if we let go, the pain stops. He taught that if we stop clinging to things, our desires, our fears, our need for control, we can be free from suffering and find deep inner peace. At first, these two ideas seem completely different. One says, use suffering to become stronger. The other says, let go of what causes suffering, and you will be free. But if we look closer, we can see that both ideas share something important. Both thinkers tell us to accept life as it is. Nietzsche tells us to love our fate, to embrace everything that happens. The Buddha tells us to accept change and not resist reality. Both teach that fighting against life only brings more pain. Both ideas are about overcoming ourselves. Nietzsche says we should become stronger by facing hardship. The Buddha says we should become wiser by letting go of attachment. Even though they have different methods, both thinkers believe we can rise above our suffering. So, which idea do you think is right? Should we see suffering as something that makes us stronger? Or should we try to let go of the things that cause suffering? Or maybe, just maybe, we can learn from both ideas and apply them in different ways. What do you think? Let's discuss in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into philosophy, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more engaging content.